The Miami Redhawks from Oxford, Ohio. You see the 11 straight winning seasons in that period from 1995 to 2005, and then there was a period of transition where Miami, following the Ben Roethlisberger years, had to find their way back to the top, and then of course a couple of seasons ago, 7-1 after a 1-7, and we are delighted to have the Miami Redhawks here with us, and let's start out as we say hello to the no stranger to the Cradle of Coaches, and because he played his college football for Tom Reed at Miami University, as we say hi to Don Treadwell. Good to see you, Coach. How are you?
Good to see you guys. Good
That wasn't that many years ago, playing for Coach Reed, was it?
It doesn't
you
feel
look like
it,
you
man.
could. You have any eligibility left?
Well, no, but the body can, it would tell you how I feel. I just shared that with these two guys.
Don, so again, you implement your philosophies into the program last year. I mean, overall, how would you capsulize the first year, and then how good you feel about laying the foundation and where that can take you going forward?
Well, I think you kind of answered it for me there to a certain degree.
Didn't mean to do that.
No, it's okay, though. That first year, it's been said, nothing can take the place of your first year, and what a difference it makes in your first year. In my opinion, having been on many teams, whether you're 12-0 or 0-12, there's just so much to be gained from that perspective in terms of laying the foundation, as you mentioned, number one, with your staff, number two, with your current team. And again, I've always been so appreciative of the players we've had, because even for this group of seniors I have that happen to be in their fifth year, I'm still their third head coach in 5 years. So there's been a lot of change, a lot of things that you have to kind of get up and running philosophically, schematically. And now that we go into the second year of that, especially the two young men that are representing with us here today, there's a much better comfort level of the expectations, the language, all the things that you would anticipate going into year number two.
Coach, 17 starters back, a heck of a quarterback in my opinion, coming back. Offensive line, 4 or 5 starters back, solid. A great receiver back in Harwell, of course. Running back is the only real question mark I see on the offensive side of the football. How does spring go? Where are you at that position? Just talk about your offense a little bit.
Offensively, you kind of start with it. The catalyst certainly is the gentleman sitting next to me, Zach Dysert. And again, Zach is going into year number 2 of a system that I believe he's much more comfortable with. I mean, you could see that as you watch the season unfold as we got through midseason, towards the latter part of the season. He really was taking control of the reins. And then you fast forward into spring football, and you just saw a much more comfort level there with Zach running the offense. Therefore, we'll probably even be able to put a little more on his plate. Surrounding him, of course, you've got some receivers that are back. Harwell is back as the one, probably the leading receiver returning. He's gotten a lot of attention, but I tell you what, Zach has some other targets out there. Andy Cruz is back. He's a big target. He's a senior for us. He's played a lot of good football. We had a young guy, Dawan Scott, played a lot last year. Offensive line, you touched on that a little bit. We were very green there at some position. We started 2 true freshmen last year. So, as you know, nothing can take the place of true experience on game day. So hopefully those guys will be better served because of that. You mentioned the running back position. That's probably still a question mark in a positive way of seeing what happens and what unfolds this preseason. Even coming into it, that was a focus in the recruiting class. So we're going to find out what some of these freshmen can also bring to the plate to see if we can, again, focus on being a more balanced offense overall.
The Miami Redhawks, Coach Treadwell has just alluded to it, have 2 just tremendously talented young men, one on each side of the ball. So we'd like to introduce you to them right now. Quarterback Zach Dysert and defensive lineman Austin Brown. Got to start. Can we get a shot of Zach? Zach, can you show us your socks? Man, look at those. I love those. Look at those. They got the Miami Redhawks on them. You got there. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Isn't that great? He's got a Miami tie on. He's got his, his Miami Redhawks. So you're represented very well today. When you look at coming in this season, you're one of the, and we're going to take a look at one of the most highly decorated quarterbacks, not just in the MAC, but in the country coming back. But what have you challenged yourself with, Zach, in terms of in this offseason with your offense to be able to even take the production level up coming into 2012?
You know, in the summer we dedicated ourselves, the whole team, to get in the weight room, to putting in the work on the field. You know, we were at 7-on-7s every night for an hour, hour and a half, something like that. Through every day, watched a lot of film. I mean, I could just tell the guys took this very serious, and you know, everybody's working towards a common goal, which makes it everything a lot easier.
Zach, last year, 66% of your passes completed, 3,500 yards. You know, tremendous season. You are well aware of this quarterback class in the Mid-American Conference. You've competed against all these guys. In my opinion, you're certainly right up in the upper echelon of these outstanding quarterbacks this year in this conference. Second year in the offense, Coach mentioned it. Talk about that a little bit. I mean, it's been tough for you to play in all these different systems.
Definitely has, but you know, Coach Treadwell always talks about change, and change is always going to happen, and it can either be a good or a bad thing. So, you know, last year was a little bit, you know, we had to get comfortable with the offense, but like you said, in the spring, you know, I could just feel myself getting more comfortable with it, just the ins and the outs of everything. And, you know, as the season goes on, it's only going to get better. And as the preseason starts, it's only going to get better. And as the summer went on, it only got better for the whole team. So, you know, those things are what we're expecting.
On the other side of the football, Austin Brown has done a tremendous job being a veteran leader now of the football team. Austin, last year when you looked defensively, now, you ranked in the upper echelon in overall team defense in the MAC. Again, what were the goals set, though, coming into the season? How do you feel? Where are the areas you feel that you've got to get better as an overall team defense to have the overall success notch up?
Well, on defense, I mean, you can improve everywhere. Unless you're the number one in the country, you still have everywhere to improve. So we're going to look from D-line to the linebackers all the way in the secondary to improve in each spot.
How about a leadership role? I mean, do you feel now, is it about being an extension of Coach Treadwell and the coaches for you as you go through the program and saying, you know, I need to rally up some of the younger fellas and see what they're all about and let them know what Miami football needs to be about?
Well, I mean, our motto is all in at all times, and you can tell, like, after this previous year that guys are either buying in or they're leaving the program. So we're getting everybody out who needs to leave, and everybody needs to stay ready to work and ready to get after it.
So look at some of your defense in action from 2011.
You know, Austin, it looks to me like your defensive line really is the strength of your defense. You've got 3 seniors there, yourself included. You've got an excellent defensive end and Jason coming back. Dan Nunley at the cornerback is certainly one of the premier corners in the Mid-American Conference. 7 starters back. You know, there's going to be some expectations for that defense this year.
We need to keep raising that expectation.
There you go. I love that. Yes, sir.
I think we hold ourselves to a higher standard than a lot of people, the media and other teams in the conference, that we need to be the best. And that's
facing all these spread offenses, I mean, you know, it's tough for defensive linemen. We all know that. I mean, the plays just come rapid fire. Having some depth in that defensive line is huge to get some kind of a rotation and get a blow once in a while.
I mean, we have a lot of young guys stepping up right now, and that's really good because a lot of the older guys who are playing a lot more are going to get a lot of breathers, and keeping guys fresh and not really dropping off talent-wise is going to be key for us to winning this year.
Excellent.
Yeah, 15 starters returning from a year ago.